What I saw was fun, never anything inappropriate. What I saw was work and play at work and fun. Mrs. Cosby was a frequent visitor to the studio. She was there a lot. That's what I saw.
At 77, Phylicia Rashad speaks her truth about the Cosby Show and her legacy, the mother of America's favorite T family. At 77, Phylicia Rashad continues to carry the title of America's mom with grace and wisdom, best known for her role as Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Rashad played a character that many viewers admired for her intelligence, class, and warmth. Her calm and composed voice, her elegant style, and her powerful presence made her one of the most respected figures on television. But her life is much more than just one TV role. Rashad has had a long career filled with challenges, victories, and moments of deep personal reflection. And now, as she looks back on her journey, she is speaking honestly about what really happened behind the scenes of The Cosby Show and how it shaped her life. In recent years, as the legacy of the show has become more complicated due to the legal troubles of its star, Bill Cosby, Rashad has had to walk a fine line between defending the memories of something that meant so much to her and acknowledging the pain others have felt. Her story is not just about fame or television. It's about staying strong when the world is watching and choosing dignity over drama. A childhood filled with art and education before she became famous. Phylicia Rashad was simply Phylicia Ayers Allen, growing up in Houston, Texas. Her mother, Vivian Ayers, was a poet and a scholar, while her father, Andrew Arthur Allen, was a dentist. Rashad's home was filled with creativity, books, and music. Her family believed deeply in the power of education and arts. Her sister, Debbie Allen, would go on to become a well-known actress, dancer, and choreographer from a young age. Phylicia was exposed to powerful ideas and strong women who taught her to value her mind and her talents. She studied theater at Howard University, one of the most respected historically black colleges in the United States. At Howard, she learned the importance of using her voice to represent her people and her culture. It wasn't always easy as a young black woman trying to make her way in the entertainment industry. Rashad faced many doors that were closed to her, but she didn't give up. She kept pushing forward, bringing her intelligence, strength, and beauty to every role she took on. These early experiences shaped her into the calm and confident figure the world would one day admire on television. Becoming Claire Huxtable and changing television in 1984, Phylicia Rashad was cast in a role that would change her life forever. She became Claire Huxtable, the smart, stylish, and loving wife on The Cosby Show. The show quickly became one of the most popular programs on American television. It told the story of a successful black family living in Brooklyn, a doctor, a lawyer, and their 5 children. For many people, it was the first time they saw a black family portrayed with such pride and positivity on screen. Rashad's character, Claire, was more than just a mother. She was a partner, a professional, and a role model. She showed the world that a woman could be both kind and strong, loving and firm. She brought class, wit, and elegance to every scene. Viewers admired her and wanted to be like her. Off-screen, Rashad took her role seriously. She made sure that her character was always respected and never reduced to a stereotype. She spoke up when she didn't agree with something in the script. Her work helped change how people saw black women on television. Rashad's performance earned her awards and praise, but more importantly, it gave millions of viewers someone to look up to. Behind the scenes of The Cosby Show, many fans have asked what it was like to work on The Cosby Show. Was it really as joyful as it looked on screen? According to Rashad, it truly was a special experience. She often described the set as a place full of laughter, respect, and professionalism. What I saw was fun, never anything inappropriate. She once said, "What I saw was work and play." At work and fun, the cast shared a close bond, and there was a strong sense of family among them. They weren't just acting like a family. In many ways, they became one. Rashad has said that Bill Cosby created a space where people could learn, grow, and do their best work. However, in recent years, that memory has been clouded by serious allegations against Cosby. Many have asked Rashad to speak about this, and her responses have sparked both support and criticism. She has defended her personal experiences with Cosby while also showing respect for those who came forward with accusations. It's a difficult place to be in, and Rashad has handled it with the same calm strength that made her famous. Her focus has remained on the positive impact the show had and the lessons it taught. Families across America, a career that continued beyond television even after The Cosby Show ended. Phylicia Rashad did not fade from the spotlight. She continued to work in theater, film, and education. She became the first black actress to win a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play. For her performance in A Raisin in the Sun on Broadway, her stage work has always been powerful, emotional, and full of meaning. Rashad has also taken on roles in movies and television shows that allow her to play strong, wise characters, women who are full of life experience and who command respect. Beyond acting, Rashad has spent years mentoring young artists and teaching the next generation of performers. In 2021, she was named Dean of Howard University's College of Fine Arts. Returning to the place where her journey began, she sees her role there not just as a teacher, but as a guide and protector for young talent. She encourages students to be bold, creative, and proud of who they are. Her deep love for the arts and for learning has made her an inspiration both on and off the stage. In every part of her life, Rashad has stayed true to her values, discipline, dignity, and the power of storytelling. Asterisk responding to the Cosby controversy when the sexual assault allegations against Bill Cosby became public, many people were shocked. The news changed how many viewed The Cosby Show and those involved in it. For Rashad, it was a painful and complicated moment. She had worked closely with Cosby for years and knew him as a colleague and friend. When she first defended him publicly, saying a miscarriage of justice is being corrected, she received backlash from those who felt she was ignoring the voices of survivors. Others praised her for standing by someone she knew personally. Rashad later clarified her comments, saying she supported due process and did not mean to disrespect anyone who had been harmed. It was clear she was trying to navigate a very difficult situation, honoring her personal experiences while also respecting the pain others had expressed. Through it all, she remained calm and thoughtful. She didn't lash out at critics, nor did she hide from the conversation. Instead, she showed the same grace that has always defined her. She reminded people that life is rarely black and white, and that everyone deserves to be heard. Her response may not have pleased everyone, but it showed her strength and her commitment to truth, legacy, respect, and looking ahead today. Phylicia Rashad's legacy is bigger than any one role or controversy. She has become a symbol of excellence, wisdom, and cultural pride. Generations of women, especially black women, see her as someone who broke barriers without losing her identity. She is respected not just for what she did on screen, but for how she has carried herself in life. Whether she is acting, teaching, or speaking, Rashad brings the same quiet power that made Claire Huxtable unforgettable. At 77, she is not slowing down. She continues to work, to teach, and to guide others. She often says that storytelling is more than entertainment. It's a way to heal, to connect, and to grow. And through her work, she has helped countless people see themselves in a better light. Even as debates about The Cosby Show continue, Rashad's own contributions are clear. She helped shape a generation's understanding of family, love, and success. Her legacy is rich and meaningful. She is not just a mom from a popular TV show. She is an artist, an educator, and a woman of deep purpose. And now, as she speaks her truth, she continues to inspire others to do the same. A show that changed everything back in 1984, television in America changed forever. The Cosby Show came on the air and quickly became one of the most popular and powerful shows in the country. It didn't just make people laugh, it made them think. At a time when most shows featured black families living in poverty or dealing with crime, The Cosby Show introduced something very different. It showed a wealthy, educated black family living a comfortable life in Brooklyn, New York. The father, Cliff Huxtable, was a doctor. The mother, Claire Huxtable, was a smart and successful lawyer. They had 5 kids, a nice home, and they dealt with everyday problems just like any other family. For many people watching, especially black families, this was the first time they saw themselves on TV in such a positive way. It felt fresh, exciting, and hopeful. The show became a huge hit, reaching millions of viewers every week. It broke racial barriers and gave a new image of what black success could look like. Many young people, inspired by what they saw, dreamed of going to college, becoming professionals, and having families of their own one day. And at the heart of it all was actress Phylicia Rashad, who played Claire Huxtable with elegance, strength, and warmth. Claire wasn't just a character, she was a symbol of what was possible. But behind the smiles and laughter, the show also had secrets, and as the years passed, those secrets would come to light in shocking ways. And now, at the age of 77, Phylicia Rashad is reflecting on what really happened behind the scenes and the dark truth that changed everything. Claire Huxtable. The mother America loved Phylicia Rashad's role as Claire Huxtable wasn't just another acting job. She became the mother figure that millions of people looked up to, both on screen and off. Claire wasn't like the traditional TV moms who cooked and cleaned all day. She was a professional woman who worked hard at her law firm, helped raise her kids, and still managed to stay calm, smart, and graceful in every episode. Claire was strong without being mean, loving without being soft, and wise without sounding bossy. This mix of qualities made her feel real and powerful. Young black girls saw her and believed they could grow up to be anything. Young boys respected her. Parents admired how she balanced work and family. It's not a surprise that in 2004, TV Guide named her one of the 50 greatest TV moms of all time. But this success didn't come easy. Phylicia worked hard to shape the character. In the original script, Claire was written as a plumber, but Phylicia suggested she be a lawyer. Instead, she wanted the character to reflect a strong, educated black woman. And that decision changed everything with Claire Huxtable. The show became a platform for changing how black women were viewed in America. Phylicia didn't just play Claire, she became Claire. But while the world praised the Huxtable family, no one knew that decades later, the man behind the show would be accused of horrible crimes. And when those accusations came out, everything Phylicia had worked for came crashing down in the public. Bill Cosby's legacy and the beginning of the fall. Bill Cosby wasn't just the star of the show, he was its creator, its voice, and its heart. He played Cliff Huxtable, the kind, funny, and wise father who held the family together. But off-screen, Cosby was a powerful figure in Hollywood. He was seen as a role model, a man who used humor to teach important lessons, especially to the black community. He encouraged education, family values, and hard work. But in the 2000s, dark stories began to surface. More and more women started to come forward, accusing Cosby of terrible acts. These weren't just a few rumors, they were serious claims of drugging and assaulting women, going back decades. At first, many people didn't believe the stories. Cosby had built a clean image over the years, and fans didn't want to think that America's dad could do something so evil. But by 2014, the number of women speaking out had grown so large that the world could no longer look away. The news shocked everyone, including those who had worked closely with him. Like Phylicia Rashad, the legacy of The Cosby Show, once seen as one of the greatest programs in TV history, was now stained by the actions of its lead actor. It was a painful moment for the people who had believed in the show, especially those who saw it as a symbol of black pride and success. But even more painful was the difficult position it put Phylicia Rashad in. She had stood beside Cosby for decades. What would she say now? Phylicia Rashad breaks her silence for years. Phylicia Rashad stayed quiet about the accusations against Bill Cosby. Many wondered what she thought. Did she believe him? Did she feel betrayed? Finally, in 2015, she spoke out, and her words shocked a lot of people. In an interview, she said, "Forget these women." She seemed to suggest that the accusations were part of a bigger plan to destroy Cosby's legacy. She didn't believe the stories. She stood by her friend. That short statement caused a huge backlash. People were angry. They asked how someone like Phylicia, who played such a strong and respectful woman on TV, could ignore the pain of so many women in real life. She later tried to explain that she wasn't trying to hurt the women who spoke out. She just couldn't believe that Cosby, the man she had known for years, could do such terrible things. But the damage was done. Years later, when Cosby was released from prison in 2021 after his conviction was overturned, Phylicia posted on Twitter, calling it a terrible wrong being righted again. The backlash was immediate. She was now the Dean of Fine Arts at Howard University, and students and alumni demanded she apologize. She did. In a new statement, she said she supported survivors of sexual assault and didn't mean to cause harm. But her public image had already taken a hit. For many, the woman who once represented strength and wisdom had become part of a painful debate. She was caught between her loyalty to a friend and the cries of justice from victims. It was a position that brought sadness and confusion to someone who had always stood for dignity and truth. The personal cost of loyalty. Phylicia Rashad has always been known for her grace and wisdom, but her support of Bill Cosby during his scandal changed how many people saw her. Her public statements made some believe she chose friendship over what was right. Others argued that she was just trying to stay loyal to someone who had helped shape her career. Either way, the emotional cost was high. The show that brought her fame was now seen by many as a painful memory. People who once loved The Cosby Show found it hard to watch. And for Phylicia, the role of Claire Huxtable, once her proudest achievement, was now connected to something darker. She had spent years building a legacy of excellence, showing young women that they could be strong, smart, and successful. But now, people questioned that image. They wondered if her silence and then her defense of Cosby meant that she wasn't the role model they thought she was. Still, others believed she was simply human caught in a terrible situation where there were no easy answers. After all, Bill Cosby wasn't just a co-star. He was a close friend. They had shared a stage, a vision, and a dream that inspired millions. For someone like Phylicia, that kind of bond is hard to walk away from, even when it's the right thing to do. In the end, her story is a painful reminder of how complicated life can be. Good people can make bad choices, and sometimes loyalty comes with a heavy price. Looking back at a complicated legacy now at 77 years old, Phylicia Rashad is looking back at her life with more honesty and clarity than ever before. In recent interviews, she has shared how deeply the entire experience affected her. She says she never expected her time on The Cosby Show to end in such pain and controversy. For years, that show was a source of pride not just for her, but for the entire Black community. It gave people hope and showed the world a different image of Black families, one filled with love, laughter, and success. But the truth is that no matter how good a show looks on the outside, the people behind it are still human. They make mistakes, they hide things, and sometimes those secrets catch up with them. Phylicia admits that she still loves the work they did on the show, but she can no longer ignore the pain it brought to others. She's now focusing her energy on helping young artists at Howard University, teaching them not just how to act, but how to live with truth and integrity. She says it's never too late to learn, to grow, and to do better. Her story is not just about a famous TV show. It's about how we deal with truth, with pain, and with the people we thought we knew. And maybe that's the real lesson of The Cosby Show, not the jokes or the stories, but the reminder that behind every smile, there's a deeper story waiting to be told. A legacy rewritten in the end. Phylicia Rashad's journey is one filled with success, pain, and growth. She will always be remembered for her iconic role as Claire Huxtable, a mother who inspired millions and changed the face of television. But she will also be remembered for her part in one of the biggest scandals in TV history. Whether you agree with her decisions or not, her story shows us that fame does not protect anyone from difficult choices. What we say and don't say matters. Who we stand with matters, and how we face our past matters today. As she continues her work in education and in arts, Phylicia is choosing to focus on the future. She's helping young people find their voices, make their own choices, and write their own stories. And maybe that's the best way to move forward, by using the lessons of the past to guide the next generation. The Cosby Show gave us a dream, but Phylicia Rashad's life gives us something just as important, a truth that is messy, painful, and real. It reminds us that even our heroes are human, and sometimes the bravest thing they can do is tell the truth even when it hurts. The rise and fall of a cultural genre for many people. The Cosby Show was more than just a television series. It was a symbol of hope, family, and Black excellence. The characters felt like family, and the values shared in the show helped shape generations. Phylicia Rashad, who played the graceful and wise Claire Huxtable, became a role model for many women, especially Black women, who saw strength, intelligence, and warmth in her character. Bill Cosby, who played her husband Cliff Huxtable, was seen as the perfect father figure, but over time, that perfect image began to crack. In the early 2000s, whispers about Bill Cosby's behavior started to surface. At first, many ignored them or assumed they were just rumors, but the truth couldn't be hidden forever. Soon, more women came forward, and what followed was one of the most shocking downfalls in entertainment history. Phylicia Rashad, now 77, has seen her legacy questioned because of her connection to Cosby and her public reactions to the scandal, allegations that shook the nation between the mid-2000s and 2010s. Over 60 women came forward with serious accusations. Against Bill Cosby, they spoke of sexual misconduct, drugging, and other harmful actions that dated as far back as the 1960s. These women didn't know each other, yet their stories shared haunting similarities. This caused people to question how someone so beloved could have hidden such behavior for decades. In 2015, Cosby was charged in Pennsylvania for assaulting Andrea Constant, a former Temple University staff member. After a long legal battle, he was found guilty in 2018 and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. However, in 2021, his conviction was overturned because of a legal technicality, not because he was proven innocent. The court ruled that his rights were violated during the trial process. Still, the damage to his name and the Cosby Show's legacy was already done. The world was left to grapple with the reality that a man they once admired had caused so much pain. The cast silent suffering while Bill Cosby became the center of the legal and media storm. The rest of the show's cast was affected too. For actors like Malcolm Jamal Warner, Tempest Bledsoe, Keshia Knight Pulliam, and Sabrina LaBeouf, the accusations against Cosby were heartbreaking. Not only did they lose a friend and mentor, but they also saw the show that made them stars get pulled from the air. Networks like TV Land and Bounce TV stopped airing reruns. This meant that the cast also lost royalty payments, which were an important source of income. More importantly, their proudest work was now being viewed through a cloud of sadness and controversy. Some of the actors remained silent, not knowing what to say. Others tried to walk a delicate line supporting victims while also honoring the legacy of a show that changed TV history. Malcolm Jamal Warner said in an interview, "The work we did, the legacy we left, the doors we opened, it all feels overshadowed now." His words capture the pain many felt, how something so good could now be seen as so bad. Phylicia Rashad's controversial stand among all the cast members. None received more attention than Phylicia Rashad. Known for her dignity and wisdom, her words carried weight, but when she first spoke about the allegations, many people were shocked. In 2015, she gave an interview where she said, "Forget these women. What you're seeing is the destruction of a legacy, and I think it's orchestrated." These words were seen by many as a harsh dismissal of the victims. For someone who had long been viewed as a champion for women, this came as a deep disappointment. Critics said she was putting her loyalty to Cosby above the pain of those who were harmed. As more evidence was revealed and Cosby was convicted, the backlash against Rashad grew stronger. People expected her to distance herself or change her stance, but she didn't. Instead, when Cosby's conviction was overturned in 2021, she tweeted, "Finally, a terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of justice is corrected." That post sparked even more anger and concern. Howard University responds to the outrage at the time of her controversial tweet. Phylicia Rashad had recently been appointed dean of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University. Her post caused an uproar among students, faculty, and alumni. Many believed that her words were hurtful to survivors of sexual assault and sent the wrong message to young people at the school. They demanded that she take responsibility and show more care for victims. Within days, Rashad released a new statement, trying to explain herself. She wrote, "I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to their truth." While some appreciated the clarification, others felt it wasn't enough. Howard University also made a public statement saying they stood with survivors. However, they stopped short of punishing Rashad or removing her from her position. Still, the damage was done. The controversy left a mark on both her personal image and her professional life. From that moment on, every public appearance came with questions about her support for Cosby. A legacy under question. The Cosby Show once stood for something beautiful. It was a groundbreaking portrayal of a successful black family, showing the world a different and more positive view of black life in America. For decades, the Huxtables were symbols of progress, respect, and hope. But now, people are unsure how to feel. How do you honor a show that meant so much when the man behind it caused so much pain? This question has become part of a larger cultural debate. Can we separate art from the artist? Can we still watch The Cosby Show and enjoy what it represented? Knowing what we now know, for fans, scholars, and cultural critics, there is no easy answer. Some believe the show should be remembered and studied for its positive influence, while others say it should be removed entirely out of respect for the victims. It's a painful and emotional debate, and the conversation continues. Living with complexity for Phylicia Rashad, this journey has been complicated and painful. She was more than just a co-star. She was the emotional center of the show. Viewers saw her as a wise, motherly figure who could always be trusted. When she defended Cosby, many felt that trust was broken, but others believed she was simply showing loyalty to a longtime friend. Either way, her reputation changed. She's still respected by many, and her career is far from over. She has taken roles in shows like This Is Us and movies like Creed. She continues to teach and inspire young artists. However, her public image is no longer as clear-cut as it once was. Some admire her strength. Others feel disappointed. The truth is, she is now a symbol of the complexity of fame, loyalty, and morality. She shows us how difficult it can be to hold on to one's values. When the people we admire fall from grace, a new chapter with old shadows since the scandal. Phylicia Rashad has kept a lower profile, choosing her words and actions more carefully. She continues to serve as dean at Howard University, and many students have praised her leadership and mentorship. They say she is caring, supportive, and dedicated to helping young talent grow. But even with her good work, the past still follows her every time she's in the spotlight. Questions about Cosby come up again. She hasn't completely taken back her old statements, but she hasn't repeated them either. It seems she's trying to move forward while still dealing with the consequences of what she said. In some ways, that reflects how many people feel about the Cosby Show itself. It's not forgotten, but it's not easily celebrated either. The joy and the pain now live side by side. It's a reminder that real life, unlike TV, doesn't always have a neat and happy ending. The ongoing debate, the legacy of the Cosby Show, is still up for discussion. Some people want it to return to the air, believing it did more good than harm. They argue that the show helped change how black families were seen in the media. Others believe that continuing to show the series would dishonor the pain of the women who came forward. This debate isn't just about one show. It's about how we as a society deal with art created by people who have done wrong. Can you enjoy a movie or song if the person who made it has hurt others? This is a hard question, and different people have different answers. What makes the Cosby Show unique is its deep cultural meaning for Black America. That makes the stakes even higher and the conversation more emotional. For many, the show will always have a place in their hearts. But now, that place is filled with both fond memories and painful truths.